The aroma of freshly cooked pasta filled the air as Mia Sullivan carefully plated the dish, placing it on the dining table with a satisfied smile. The elegant chandelier overhead cast a warm glow over the perfectly arranged dinner setup, her small way of making home feel comforting for her husband, Adrian. The front door clicked open. She turned eagerly, expecting a warm greeting. Instead, Adrian strode in, barely glancing at her as he loosened his tie, his focus fixed on his phone. "You're home early today," Mia said, forcing a cheerful tone. Adrian let out a distracted sigh. "Had an early meeting. Don't wait up for me tonight. I've got another client dinner." Mia's smile faltered. "Again?" "That's the third night this week." Adrian ran a hand through his hair, already looking impatient. "Mia, we talked about this. My business is growing. These meetings are important." Mia swallowed her disappointment and nodded. As Adrian disappeared into his office, her gaze drifted to the framed certificate on the wall. Mia Sullivan, top architecture graduate. She traced her fingers over the glass, a reminder of the dreams she had set aside for love. The cafe buzzed with chatter, but Mia barely touched her coffee. Across from her, Lisa, her best friend, watched her with a knowing look. "Mia, when was the last time Adrian made you feel like a priority?" Lisa asked, tapping her spoon against the edge of her cup. Mia sighed. "He's just busy. Once things settle down, we'll finally have time for each other again." Lisa exhaled sharply. "Busy for you or busy for someone else?" Mia frowned, but before she could answer, Lisa hesitated, then pulled out her phone. "I wasn't sure if I should show you this, but Mia, you deserve the truth." She turned the screen toward Mia. It was a photo, grainy but unmistakable. Adrian, seated at an upscale restaurant. Across from him, Vanessa, Mia's former best friend. Mia's breath hitched. "That could be anyone," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. Lisa's gaze softened. "Just don't ignore the signs." Mia stared at the image, a heavy weight settling in her chest. That night, Mia tossed and turned in bed, Lisa's words replaying in her mind. Restless, she slipped out from under the covers, her bare feet making no sound against the wooden floor. The house was silent except for the faint hum of Adrian's voice coming from his study. As she approached, the door was slightly ajar. She froze. "Relax, Vanessa." Adrian's voice drifted through the crack. "She still thinks I'm the devoted husband. The divorce will be smooth. She has no idea." Mia's stomach clenched. Blood roared in her ears, but she forced herself to remain still. Vanessa's voice followed, smooth and self-assured. "And the house?" Adrian chuckled. "She won't fight for it. She gave up everything for me. She won't have anything left." Mia's heart shattered. For a moment, pain threatened to consume her. But then, something changed. The sorrow didn't drown her. Instead, a fire sparked deep inside. She slowly backed away from the door, her expression shifting from heartbreak to something colder. Stronger. "You think I won't fight back?" she whispered to herself. Her hands curled into fists. "Watch me." Mia stared at herself in the mirror. Gone was the woman who sacrificed everything for love, who once believed that Adrian was her whole world. That version of her had died the moment she heard his betrayal. What remained was someone sharper, stronger, someone ready to reclaim what was rightfully hers. She pulled her hair into a sleek ponytail, her reflection looking more like the ambitious architect she once was. It was time to rise. Mia's hands trembled as she dialed a number she hadn't called in years. "Daniel Brooks speaking?" A deep, familiar voice answered. She took a deep breath. "Daniel, It's Mia Sullivan." A brief silence followed, then a chuckle. "Mia, I was wondering when you'd finally call." Mia blinked in surprise. "You were?" "Of course. You were the most talented architect I ever mentored. It was a shame when you disappeared." She swallowed hard. "I made a mistake leaving my career, but I'm ready to come back, if there's still a place for me." Daniel laughed. "Not only is there a place, but I have a project that needs your expertise. If you're serious, let's meet tomorrow." Mia exhaled, a weight lifting from her shoulders. This was it. The first step toward taking her life back. For weeks, Mia played her role perfectly. At home, she remained the devoted wife, smiling sweetly when Adrian spoke about work, pretending not to notice the lipstick stains on his collar. She listened when he told her how Vanessa understood him in a way she never could, all while resisting the urge to laugh in his face. But behind the scenes, she was building something of her own. She threw herself into her new project, a revolutionary skyscraper design that impressed investors and brought her back into the architectural world. She worked late nights, networking with influential business leaders, people Adrian once sought approval from. Quietly, she started turning them against him, making sure his reputation began to crumble without him even realizing it. At the same time, she dug deep into Adrian's financial dealings, collecting evidence of his fraudulent transactions. He thought she was naive. He thought she wouldn't fight back. He was wrong. One evening, Mia sat in her home office, sifting through Adrian's financial records on his laptop. She had hacked into his files weeks ago, but tonight she found something new, something far worse than she expected. A hidden bank account, offshore transactions, money laundering. Her pulse quickened. Adrian wasn't just a cheating husband, he was a criminal. Just as she clicked to download the files, the door creaked open. "Mia." Adrian's voice made her jump. She slammed the laptop shut and turned, forcing a smile. "Hey, you scared me." He frowned, eyeing her suspiciously. "What are you doing in here?" She gestured to an open notebook. "Just journaling. Couldn't sleep." He studied her for a long moment before nodding. "You should go to bed. We have a big event this weekend. I need you to look your best." Mia clenched her teeth but nodded. "Of course." As soon as he left, she exhaled shakily. Adrian might not have caught her tonight, but she knew one thing. She had to act fast. Her revenge was no longer just about reclaiming her life. It was about justice, and she was going to destroy him. Mia stood before the mirror, adjusting the elegant gown Adrian had chosen for her. The charity gala was one of the most prestigious events of the year, and tonight she had to play her part perfectly. It was the night Adrian would be celebrating his success in front of the city's elite. He had no idea it would be the night of his downfall. The grand ballroom shimmered with golden light, laughter and clinking glasses filling the space. Adrian stood at the center of it all, charming investors, shaking hands with influential figures, his world intact, his ego inflated. Mia watched from across the room, a knowing smile on her lips. Vanessa slinked up to Adrian, placing a hand on his chest. "You're confident tonight." He smirked. "Why wouldn't I be? Mia's clueless, and by next month, she'll be out of my life. Everything I've built will be mine." Vanessa traced a finger along his tie. "You mean Oz?" Adrian chuckled, but didn't correct her. Mia's grip tightened around her champagne glass. Fool. He had no idea what was coming. As the event reached its peak, Adrian took the stage to make his speech. He was the perfect image of success. until the screen behind him flickered. Instead of his company's promotional video, a slideshow of financial records appeared. His offshore accounts, fraudulent transactions, and embezzlement records. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Adrian's face paled. "What the hell is this?" Mia stepped forward, microphone in hand, her voice smooth and unwavering. "This, dear husband, is the truth. The truth about the man everyone here trusted. The man who built his empire on lies." Adrian turned to her, rage contorting his face. "You did this?" Mia tilted her head, feigning innocence. "Did what? Expose a fraud? Show the world that the man they admire is nothing but a liar, a cheat, and a criminal?" The whispers grew louder. Board members exchanged uneasy glances. Investors looked furious. Some were already dialing numbers, probably calling their lawyers. Vanessa took a step back, sensing the shift. "Adrian, what's happening?" But Adrian wasn't listening. He stormed toward Mia, voice low and venomous. "You think you can ruin me?" She held his gaze, her smile unfazed. "I don't need to ruin you, Adrian. You did that yourself." Security entered the room, followed by 2 officers. "Mr. Sullivan, you're under arrest for financial fraud and embezzlement." Adrian's eyes widened. You set me up." Mia stepped aside as the officers handcuffed him. "No, Adrian. I just gave karma a little push." As he was dragged away, the last thing he saw was Mia standing tall, unshaken, a woman reborn. A week later, Mia stood in the empty house, the one Adrian had once claimed she wouldn't fight for. Now it was hers. Her phone buzzed. A message from Daniel. "Your design was approved. You're officially back in the game." She smiled. Mia had sacrificed everything for a man who never deserved her. But she wasn't broken. She was stronger. And this time she was building something for herself.